Queen Camilla has no relationship with the Sussexes, according to Omid Scobie's new book Endgame. According to the tome, while the Queen has great sympathy for what Meghan went through, a royal source told the author that she has no respect for the way they handled themselves. Conversely, while her relationships with Harry, 39, and Meghan, 42, is non-existent, the book claims that Camilla and her husband King Charles now enjoy laugh-filled lunches while William and Kate. The book points out that while Camilla is a rock for Charles, while William and Harry accepted that, it took some time for them to develop any kind of relationship. But like the public, which, the book says, finally tolerated, then later accepted the Duchess of Cornwall, Prince William has become closer to his stepmother. In fact, according to author Omid Scobie, in the early days it would have been unimaginable to think that one day William and Kate would meet Charles and Camilla for laugh-filled lunches, but the two couples have grown increasingly closer over the years, especially since the Sussexes' departure. Omid Scobie has launched an astonishing and cruel attack on Kate, branding her cold and lambasting her for advocating for mental health causes while ignoring Meghan's cries for help. Harry and Meghan's cheerleader-in-chief took aim at the Princess of Wales in his new book Endgame, which has been published in Australia, claiming she shivers whenever Meghan's name is brought up and hasn't spoken to her since 2019. He claims the Princess of Wales has never had interest in being friends with her sister-in-law and branded her a Stepford-like royal wife and the monarchy's last shiny thing for many years to come. In a scathing chapter dedicated to the future Queen, Scobie says the Princess of Wales earned the nickname Katie Keene and claimed the late Queen liked her because she was coachable, unlike the strong-minded Princess Diana. He adds her workload is lower than other senior members of the firm, which he says makes her technically a part-time working royal. Scobie, who wrote Harry and Meghan's hagiography Finding Freedom, added that Kate isn't known for leadership and outgoing nature like Meghan, who was another shimmering ornament in the royal family tree before she stepped down. This, according to Scobie's recollection, meant coverage of Meghan's engagements during her short time as a working royal were far less about fashion choices and more about her work or her role in the firm. Despite thinly veiled attacks on Kate, Scobie said that Meghan became the star of the show and the new Diana after marrying Prince Harry. He believes that Harry and Meghan made the Cambridges looks a little dull as they'd shown the world how to be modern royal. Because Meghan got things done fast, William and Kate took note and altered course, meaning Kate was doing less learning and more doing. He added that despite Meghan and Kate having nothing in common, they could have made things work in those early days if there was peace between the warring Windsor siblings. Scobie adds that Meghan found her time in the firm lonely and isolated and that she hoped Kate would be someone she could turn to for an encouraging word, including her emotional difficulties during her pregnancy, as were once both outsiders, middle-class women brought into the House of Windsor for unimaginably different lives. Kate, Scobie claims, was uninterested in forming this kind of bond as she can be cold if she doesn't like someone, and wasn't a fan of Meghan. Another source told Scobie Kate spent more time talking about Meghan than to her. This is a side of Kate that rarely gets written about. Advocating for mental health causes, the mental health of mothers, for that matter, but ignoring her own sister-in-law's cries for help seemed out of character for someone the public knew as sweet and easy to get along with, Scobie writes. He added that Kate watched on in silence as stories were published about Meghan making her cry, and that she now shivers when her name is brought up. Scobie adds that bar a few pleasantries the pair have not spoken since 2019 and that she looks back in fondness with the relationship she once had with Prince Harry. Scobie also claims that Megxit saw the birth of Kate 2.0 where she became more approachable and appeared on the Happy Baby, Happy Mum podcast. Royal author Robert Jobson branded Scobie disgraceful for his attack on Kate. Speaking to FEMAIL, he said, "I know Omid Scobie personally. Our paths have crossed on TV punditry about the royals for a US network. He is sharp and smart and knows how to sell a book or two. His last book Finding Freedom, trashing the royals while claiming it spoke for Harry and Meg sold bucket loads." Royal expert Richard Fitzwilliam added that Scobie was always likely to aim for sensation. One sure way of getting headlines is to aim a few blows at the Princess of Wales. It is important to understand Scobie's attitude to the institution of monarchy, which he claims faces a crisis that may mean extinction or, at best, irrelevance. He is, or at least, was, known as the unofficial spokesperson for the Sussexes. The review in The New York Times of Endgame, which is published tomorrow, was far from flattering. Scobie's attack on Catherine's workload shows how little he understands about what the Waleses are trying to do, as they balance their royal commitments and family life so well. He moans that Catherine has no plan to increase her workload for 10 to 15 years or until her children reach adulthood. The palace are currently reviewing royal patronages. Unlike the late Queen, Prince Philip and Charles when Prince of Wales who were attached to numerous institutions, the Waleses have selected a few and do a great deal for those they have chosen. Catherine's focus is on early childhood. They are both enormously popular at home and abroad, with levels of support the Sussexes would envy. Scobie believes that the late Queen found Catherine coachable in contrast to Diana, and he apparently regards Meghan as the new Diana. His prose is execrable. What coachable presumably means is that she was prepared, together with William, to dedicate herself to being the monarchy's future. What better example to learn from than Queen Elizabeth, who is iconic? Diana, as we know, was a genius at reaching out to those in need but also willful. Perhaps Omid Scobie will provide examples in the book where Meghan actually does something worthwhile, other than talking about doing so and trashing the royal family. Scobie also claims that Kate does not plan to increase her workload for 10 to 15 years, or until her children reach adulthood, and added that she earned the nickname Katie Keen, because palace press release mitigate her doing less by saying she is keen to learn. In a clear swipe, Scobie writes Kate's lifestyle is something most parents could only dream of and that palace aides were afraid to push her due to anything that makes her uncomfortable before the Queen died. He adds that the future Queen has been through 5 different private secretaries in 6 years, because they all found the role uninspiring and frustrating. The late Queen, too, would take off blocks of time throughout the year to recharge, but she was also known to carry out at least 300 engagements annually. Sources said Kate remains laser-focused on her duty to the family first, and then the crown, he writes. Scobie added that Kate also often stumbles on her words when speaking publicly and that she didn't want to make her widely praised Blue Peter performance in June 2019. Describing it as a low-pressure, small-stakes appearance, Scobie says Kate was a bag of nerves and well out of her comfort zone before the taping, which was suggested by then Press Secretary Christian Jones. He claims a Kensington Palace source said she had never been pushed until that point as she was naturally timid. Where other senior royals are out and about several times a week, meeting people across the length and breadth of the country, Kate has long maintained a smaller work schedule that helped her check off the required royal boxes while saving time for her roles as a mother and a wife, he writes. Scobie adds that William managed to circumvent Kate's lower workload by allowing her role to produce an heir and spares first. He adds that palace gatekeepers are vigilant of Kate, never pushing her too hard as the road to queendom is a marathon, not a sprint.